So have you ever been slapped with that label, overthinker? It's something a lot of us have heard, and it usually feels like a criticism, like it's some kind of flaw. But what if that thing people call overthinking is actually a sign of something much deeper, something rare, and honestly, pretty powerful?
Yeah, if anyone's ever told you that you are stuck in your head or that you're just too deep for your own good, then you are absolutely in the right place. Trust me, you're not alone in this, and you're about to find out why that very trait might just be your biggest strength.
Okay, this slide right here, this gets to the heart of what we're talking about. See, most people look at constant thinking and just write it off as anxiety, but there's a completely different way to look at it. It could be a sign of what's called layered intelligence. It's the difference between seeing the world as a simple, straight road versus seeing it as a complex map with tons of interconnected layers.
So let's just dive right in. We're going to walk through the 7 signs that your brain isn't just overactive, it's actually operating with a remarkable kind of depth. And hey, if you recognize even a few of these in yourself, it's a pretty good bet your mind is working in a way that most people just can't quite wrap their heads around.
All right, let's kick things off with the first and most fundamental sign. This one is all about the way you think, the actual structure of your thoughts.
So sign number 1 is that you think in layers, not circles. You see, anxious thinking just replays the same problem over and over again, right? It's like a hamster wheel. But layered intelligence, that's strategic. It's like you're playing mental chess, always 10 moves ahead. You're imagining all the possible outcomes, spotting the flaws in every single path, and then distilling it all down to the absolute best move. That's not anxiety, that's some serious analytical firepower.
Now, that same strategic thinking turns inward for our second sign.
Sign number 2 is having what's known as metacognitive IQ. And get this, it's often considered the rarest type of intelligence. It's basically the ability to step outside of your own thoughts and just observe them. You don't just feel an emotion or have a thought, you analyze it. You're constantly checking your own biases, questioning your assumptions, and fine-tuning your thinking process. That level of self-awareness is incredibly rare.
And once you can observe your own mind like that, you start to see the entire world differently. Which, of course, brings us to number 3.
The third sign is that you're a natural pattern hunter. Do you find yourself constantly connecting dots that nobody else even seems to notice? That's because your brain is basically hardwired to find the relationships between things that look totally random to other people. This high-level pattern sensitivity is probably why you can predict how things will turn out with uncanny accuracy. It's not psychic powers, it's just the way your brain processes information.
Okay, so finding patterns is one thing, but how your brain organizes and actually uses them, well, that's what's so important for sign number 4.
Number 4 is all about what we call concept-based thinking. Think of it like this. Instead of having just one hammer to fix every problem, you have an entire toolbox filled with different mental models. You can look at a situation from all these different angles and pick the perfect tool for the job. This is exactly why you crave deep, meaningful conversations and get bored by superficial stuff. Your mind is just built for more.
Now, having this really rich inner world of concepts and patterns, it naturally affects how you interact with other people, which leads us straight to our 5th sign.
Our 5th sign is silent depth, and I bet this one will feel familiar to a lot of you. People might think you're shy or just quiet, but you know that's not really it, is it? While everyone else is rushing to talk, you're busy on the inside, processing, filtering, editing. So when you finally do speak, it's because your words have been carefully chosen and they carry a whole lot more weight.
And now for number 6. This is a trait that comes from that same place of deep internal logic, but let's just say it can sometimes ruffle a few feathers.
The 6th sign, and yeah, this one might get you into trouble sometimes, is that you question everything. If your favorite question is "but why?" then this is you. You don't just follow rules to be a rebel, you resist them until you actually understand the logic behind them. You just can't accept things at face value. You need to know the reasoning before you can get on board.
And that deep, driving need for logic and truth, it all comes together in our 7th and final sign. And here it is, number 7, intellectual humility. This is the great paradox of being deeply intelligent. The more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. While some people speak with absolute certainty, you are painfully aware of just how complex the world is and all the gaps in your own knowledge. Now, this can look like self-doubt, but it's actually the hallmark of true intelligence.
But of course, recognizing yourself in these signs doesn't mean life is a breeze. It's so important to be real about this. Having a mind that works this way isn't always a walk in the park. There's often a price you pay for all of this depth.
This quote, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That feeling of self-doubt you might have, it doesn't come from a lack of skill. It comes from a place of profound awareness. You see the whole, huge picture, including all the parts you haven't figured out yet.
And that awareness can feel really isolating sometimes. It can be mentally exhausting having a brain that feels like it never ever turns off. When you see all these layers that other people miss, it can make you feel kind of lonely. And like we said, it can make you way more prone to questioning yourself.
But please, don't ever let the challenges overshadow the truth. Despite all of that, a mind that operates with this kind of depth is an incredibly rare and valuable gift.
So what does it all really mean? It means your internal compass is just built differently. It points toward truth, not just toward fitting in. You're wired to understand the world on a really fundamental level, even if that means you feel like an outsider sometimes. And that is something truly special.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. How many of these 7 signs do you genuinely see in yourself? Be honest, because answering that might just completely change the way you see your own mind forever.